TV. What's going on, new breeders? Max here.
And C-Bomb.
Max and C-Bomb coming at you with another episode of New Breed TV. Coming at you from the Fear Factorium, Australia's #1 Fear Factory Museum. C-Bomb.
Yes, check it out on Instagram. Give it a follow.
Make sure you check us out on Instagram. We're on there. We're growing the following. It's getting up there now, C-Bomb. The Factorium's getting pretty popular on the old gram.
Max puts out the good content, so give him a follow and check it out. You won't regret it.
Jump on there. All right, now welcome to this episode of New Breed TV. We've got a few cool things in this episode. We're going to check out the Dino Guitar Clinic that he did here in Adelaide while they were here for the Froth Fury Festival. Now, I've been sitting on this footage for a while, C-Bomb.
Yeah, I haven't properly seen this yet, so I'm keen.
Absolutely, man. It was. I went along, obviously, did some filming. Dino played a few Fear Factory songs. Played a Divine Heresy song, which was sick to sit there and listen to.
I've had a teaser of this, so there's some pretty juicy nuggets of footage we can share now. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Caught up with some of the guys and interviewed them, and yeah, it was just a sick, like a lot of information that Dino shared about each album, and you know, he sort of wove a bit of a story throughout each album, and then would play a song from it. So it was the way that he structured the guitar clinic with like the story that went through it. It was really good.
Getting a bit of history, getting a bit of lore.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Absolutely. Giving some nuggets of info that a lot of the fans didn't know.
Of course.
He dropped a heap of bombs that I didn't even know, so it was very educational. The place was packed. It was a sold-out guitar clinic here in Adelaide.
Nice.
It was so good to see, and everyone loved it. So we hope you enjoy it too. So coming at you now is Dino's Guitar Clinic.
Ladies and gentlemen.
How you guys doing?
Good? Any of you guys here for the first one?
Yeah.
All right. The first one, I made everybody say fuck yeah, and they said it really loud. So I want to hear it fucking louder. So let me hear fuck yeah! There you go. Woo! All right. So we're going to get into my guitars, my gear, what I do live, what I use live, and all that killer shit. So I'm with a guitar company called Ormsby Guitars. They're based out of Perth, Australia. And I first discovered this company at the NAMM convention, which is a music convention that happens in Los Angeles every January. And so over the years, they've been going there for, I don't know, quite a few years. And so I would always go to their booth and check out their guitars. And I was really interested in the fan frets. They call them multi-scale guitars, but I call them fan frets, whatever. So I was really into it, and so I ended up eventually going with this company. And so they're all the way in the furthest part of the fucking world, all the way in Perth, Australia. And one of the actual owner is here today too as well. He's going to give you some insight on some of the guitars. So I ended up leaving Ibanez Guitars, which is a very big brand, for this guitar company. And I really loved the guitars. I really was into the wood. I was into the craftsmanship. And I wanted to create like this simple playing guitar that just shreds every night. Now, one of the main things about this guitar is that it has a very thin neck. I have small fingers and I like to pick fast. And when you have a thinner neck, your fingers are closer to the frets. And I always like my string height really low. So the neck is about 18 and a half, 19. Oh, you already felt it. You know how thin that is. It's very thin.
Oh wow.
It's like. Did you guys ever see that old school phone called the phone razor? The razor phone?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what it feels like. Yeah, it's pretty thin. So I'm really into that, and I like my stuff really simple. One volume knob, one pickup. I don't need to fuck around with all the other tone knobs. Fucking Max Maui. And all the, the pickup selections and all that stuff. I'm not into that stuff. I was like, I don't need all that stuff. It's just too much clutter when I'm playing live. So everything that I designed with this guitar, with Perry, of course, it's for everyday playing. It's just, I'm constantly on the road, I'm constantly touring, and I need a simple guitar that if something goes wrong, you know exactly what it is. Because you're not going to have to, like, for instance, there's some other companies, they put out some really good pickups, but the wiring in the guitars, there's like so many different wirings and so many different hookups. It's like, if something happens live, you're fucked. You're not going to be able to use that guitar because you're going to have to like have an amazing tech or some scientist back there to fucking resolder that shit, and it's going to take forever. So I like it simple. If it breaks down, boom, you know what it is. And anybody, it's kind of like an old car. You know what I mean? That old car, you could take it apart and fucking fix it yourself. Nowadays, everything's all computer, and your shit. One of those fucking sensor goes out, your whole car's fucked, right? And you got to take your whole car apart just to get to that one little sensor. So I eliminated all that shit, and I just fucking made it a ripping guitar every night. Now I also like this little thing here. It's like a little flush mount. This is so the plug doesn't stick out, the cable. Because over the years, playing every night, you're up there every night, and you're fucking playing, and this cable, the end of the cable's digging in your fucking knee every night. I fucking hate that shit. I got scars from that. You know what I mean? You guys, well, not everybody can see that, but I got scars from that stuff. So, we designed this thing to where it would be more flush mounted in there, and you don't have to worry about that. So that was some really cool stuff. Also, over the years, I got into the profiling. Obviously I use a Kemper. I pretty much have all the different systems they come out with. But I've been sticking with the Kemper because I really like it. And I was able to profile a lot of my own tones. A long time ago, I had a Marshall G7800 that was modified by this guy named Alain Rahman. And he modified this thing. I said, I want it to sound like the first Van Halen record. And he's like, okay. So he put it together. I plugged it in. I'm like, holy shit. Fucking sounds like the first Van Halen record. Of course, I didn't make it sound that good because, that's Eddie Van Halen. But I made it my own. And I was able to create a really cool tone out of it. A legendary tone that a lot of people like. Solvent and Machine, obviously demanufactured and obsolete. So my head got stolen in 1999. The whole truck, we were on tour in the United States, and the whole truck got stolen. My head was in there. So 20 years later, I get the head back. Some guy had it. I don't know if he stole it or not, but he had it, and he told me that, a lot of people over the years told me they had my head. But this guy actually said, I got your fucking head. I'm like, all right, let's see it. And it was my head, of course. And I got it back. It kind of didn't work very well, but I took it to a guy named Mike Fortin. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of Mike Fortin, but he's an amp genius. So he put this thing back together. Fucking sounded like tits. I have it put away, but I got the profile. That's pretty much what I've been using on this Kemper amp. So luckily, we tour so much. We're on planes every day. We're traveling every day. Especially when we go to South America or Australia, you're flying every day. So we like to keep everything small, tight, and compact. And this is pretty much everything that you see right here on stage, on this little area, is what I use live. That's it. Nothing else. Those speaker cabinets, none of that stuff. I haven't used that since like 1999, 2000. I haven't used these speaker cabinets. And luckily that works out perfectly because, obviously you guys know probably when you guys travel, you guys got to take all these, your luggage. Sometimes they charge you an arm and a leg just to fucking check in your luggage. So we've pretty much got it nailed down to where we travel really light. So that's pretty much my rig. So does anybody have any questions about what I'm using? Also, one other thing, Seymour Duncan, I've been with the company now since 2007. I was with a company called EMG Pickups for a while, for many years. And Seymour Duncan had approached me and they said, look, we want to come out with this new pickup. We want you to help us develop it. And I was like, sure. And we would develop a pickup called the Blackout pickup. Blackout Pickup's killer. They still sell it. But I wanted to come out with my own type of a Blackout. And I came out with the Retribution, which is these right here. The Retribution. This pretty much is our answer to what EMG was doing, but more aggressive, right? And then I decided when I did this pickup with, when I did this guitar with Perry Ormsby, I decided to change up the pickup, how the pickup looks, and how the pickup plays, what's in it. Because this looks like a passive, but it's actually an active pickup. So it's got a preamp underneath it that gives it its more aggressive tone. Gives it slightly distorted tone, and that's pretty much how it works. So I wanted to do that, and I wanted to create my own sound with this guitar. So
I've been playing Ibanez since the manufacturer come out.
yeah.
Big fucking band by the way. What would you say is the biggest difference going from Ibanez to Ormsby? Like, is it different to play? Has it changed the style or technique or anything like
Well, I was lucky with that. Yeah, when I was with Ibanez, I built up a really, really good reputation with them. So I was able to walk into the custom shops and I can tell them what I wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is pretty much also very, very similar to what I was doing with Ibanez. Yeah. But because of some legal issues that we had over the years with Fear Factory, that's a whole other drama, but there was a lot of legal issues, and I ended up deciding to leave Ibanez because just a lot of red tape, because they're a Japanese-owned company, and I decided to leave them because of Perry Ormsby. Perry! He's counting. All right. So everybody, this is Perry Ormsby. Great guitar. And I first met him at NAMM, I think it was like 2018, 2019? Well, yeah. 2018, so yeah. So I was out looking for different guitars. You know, I always like to see, I kind of like, he calls it stealing. I always like to look at different guitars because different guitars have different little things that I like. And I saw that there was a Jackson. I had this little nipple here. It's a little nipple, right? And I was like, I want that. So I got the little nipples, but I also wanted to put a Kosh mount strap lock in there, because when I was using the other strap locks, over time your sweat gets in these strap locks, and sometimes it squeaks, it goes squeak, 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 squeak. When you're playing, it's like squeak, 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 and these pickups pick it up. So when you're playing like you hear like this little squeaky place. Well, so but I didn't know you put a little WD-40 and it would solve the problem, right? I didn't know that, so I decided to put a little nipple and put a flush mount because it's pretty much silent. But I think one of the main things is that we came out this thing to me. This is like a little shark. It's like a shark, you know. It's like I could use it for a fucking. But anyways, yeah. So we met at NAMM, and I was like, you know, he's like, yeah, play my guitar, mate. Fucking play. I went to the fucking shop, didn't you? Can't play it. And so I played it, you know, but he has like multi-scales over it, and they played fucking amazing. And then I'll let you take it on from there.
Yeah, I guess I was just excited to have it in the booth. You know, it's a bit cool, you know. Always looked up to Dino. But yeah, I think we was pretty all chill about it.
Yeah.
I was just more keen to get your feedback. I want something a bit more modern, you know, because we're doing the whole multi-scale thing. And we just kept in contact, didn't we?
Yeah. So we met, but I didn't go with him right away. The next year,
No, it was a few years. It wasn't just 1 year.
yeah, yeah. I was there like we're gonna see Dino here. Yep, we're gonna see Dino over here. So I went over there, and then one time I went there, and it was like another big company that was actually trying to like just rip off his ideas. They went there with like a measuring tape and
The calipers,
caliber.
macro lens on the camera, and they're getting nice and close, and yeah, that was interesting, and I think Dino saw that and thought, what's going on here?
But I also came out with one that's a non-fan, but it's extra. It's a baritone scale, so it's 26 and a half. But I also came out with what I like to call the 1-inch fan. It's like a half fan, as you would call it, right? Would it be a half fan you would call it?
We call it a reduced fan, yeah. So it's it's reduced from what we normally do. We've got to do more about the extreme angles and all. Still not all the chips on this, mate. Let's go.
I fucking use it live. That's why I play it every night.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's good news.
You're gonna get some wear and tear out of it. Go. Smash.
Remember the original one of these?
Yeah.
I made it, and then they shipped it to you, and it's going to be unveiled at NAMM, but we shipped it to you 2 weeks early so you could play it, and you dropped it. You big chip here.
Oh, yeah. Fun times. It's my head. So, anyway, so I decided to do the reduced fan because I thought, some Fear Factory fans are not really gonna understand a guitar that's gonna have like this weird twist on it. So I think the reduced fan.
The average age of a Fear Factory fan is a little older than, edgy. So much like Blair Sabbath.
Well, holy.
Yeah.
30 South Pulse.
But, some bands have a younger group, and Sabbath is grandparents, right?
Yeah.
And we figured that people that are most likely to be Dino's fans are more than likely to have been a little more, they've got their collection, right? And they don't want to sway too far from that. So we thought we'd just make a more regular version, but also still do what we normally do.
So one of the main things that I really, really wanted to do was also, if you look at the neck here, you see these white stripes here. Now, before, I used to get like the pinstriping that you put on a car, and I used to cut it and I used to put it in here. And then when we did this guitar, he decided to put them in inlay.
Yeah, you wanted to paint it on.
Yeah, paint it on inlay with
Inlay, glow in the dark.
Yeah, blocks. Yeah, and so the reason why I did that is because when you're looking down, you're trying to find that chord, and the lights are out, because we would play Shock every night, or we come out to a dark stage. And I'm like, oh fuck, where am I? So you can see these motherfuckers glowing in the dark right there, big. You know what I mean? And so, and the lights, the strobe lights come on, you're like, yeah. So you're rocking out. So it was really just to be able to see where I was at.
That worked pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, heaps of people. I think it's become more common, actually.
And also, when we were going to the airport, somehow the airline fucking busted this thing right here. But luckily, he brought some extra parts.
He's gonna fix it. So, just trouble honest.
Just fuck it. All right. So, I'm gonna crank out a tune, and then does anybody want to ask any questions while I am setting up? Yeah.
String gauges under 7s. What about you?
Yeah. I use 10 to 59. These are Diodarios. You can buy the 7-string pack, 10 to 59. I don't like them too heavy, because when they're too heavy, it's just too tight. Yeah, you really can't.
Do you change string gauges depending on whether you're running baritone or remote cell?
No, only when I'm using 8 strings. I change to a bigger gauge, which is a 74.
That's with the 1 speed as well. 8 string. Yes,
Yeah. Sad. So, is when you get this thing going. Ooh. Some classics, mate. Anything else you want to ask me while it's plugging?
How do you remember the picking rhythms of all the songs when you're
Practice all the time. Yeah, practice, rehearse, band rehearses. We usually do like a week or 2 rehearsals before our tour. We rehearsed for I think it was 8 or 9 days before we got here, because we had to do a different set. for the how many of you guys are going to Froth and Fury? Alright, cool. So, for some reason, we put a contest out there, and thanks to Jason, this is the guy from Froth and Fury. Woo! So we put a contest out there, and we gave them 2 choices, like a mixture of Fear Factory songs or the first 4 albums. So you guys voted for the first 4 albums. So we're doing like 4 songs from each record of the first 4, from Soul Dream Machine to Digimon. So, all right. So let's get to a song here. You guys are gonna recognize this one right away. Make sure you turn up, Mike. let me tell you a little about that record, Obsolete. We had just we put out Demanufacture in 1995. We didn't go home for 2.5, 3 years. We were gone. We were on tour and we toured the fucking world. And when we got back to LA, the music has changed, right? Everything became fatter, groovier, bassier, subwoofers, not subwoofers, but sub kick drums, just all kinds of stuff. 808 kick drums. So like you got bands like Korn already blowing up, like 96, 97, they were getting huge. And you know, bands like Cold Chamber, Deftones, everything was getting slower, faster, fatter, and groovier. Thanks to Ross Robinson, producer. So we were like, wow, we got back, and we're playing Demanufacture. That's just ripping all the way through, right? So we get home, we're like, fuck, we got to answer to this. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean by that. It's a competitive attitude that you want to try to do something similar to that, but do it your own way. So we were like, okay, we need to slow things down, we need to groove things out, and we need to get even much more broader in the writing style. So the first song we wrote was fucking Shock. Groovy, fat, fucking hits you hard. The riff, the snare and the hi-hat and kick drum, just that whole little intro, and when it blows up to Shock with the 808 and Bert screaming Shock, it was perfect. People put that in their car, they were like, what the fuck? Because they were cranking it, and then when the 808 hit, it was blowing out their speakers. I swear to God, people were saying that to me, like, oh my God. So we were like, we knew we got it. And then we were like, okay, you know, all these bands are writing songs with no double bass. I'm like, okay, let's write a song with no double bass. So a song like Edge Crusher comes in. Banger, fucking right off the bat. And it was like, it was very challenging to write a song without double bass. You know what I mean? Because everything you heard that we've done, except maybe like a Therapy for Pain on Demanufacture, everything had double bass. So we were like, okay, let's try to remove the double bass. How do we do that? I don't know. So we did it, and then we decided to keep going with it with songs like Descent, songs like Resurrection. And one of the other things too is like when you listen to Demanufacture, it's got this cold element to it. The cover, it's like cold steel. It's like futuristic. It sounded futuristic. I mean, you listen to the kick drums, the snare, that sounds like a fucking machine. The riffs, everything was fucking super tight, and it was cold. So when we got to Obsolete, we gotta go organic. We gotta make it sound organic, right? Just with the way it felt, the way it grooved. And so even the colors on the album cover was earth tones. There were browns, yellows and blacks. So even the color we changed, right? Just to give it a different feel. And Bert also decided, okay, we're gonna write the concept, because when we released Demanufacture, everybody's like, oh, Terminator. And so it was like, what's it about? We wrote a little story to it for Demanufacture, but Obsolete, we decided to take it to the next level. And that's why we wrote that whole booklet inside. When you open up the booklet, you see the story that goes along with the record. And the funny thing about it was that when that record came out, it didn't get a lot of good reviews. It got mediocre reviews, because Demanufacture it hit so hard, and that record got 5 stars, 10 stars, 100 stars all the way across, that when Obsolete came out, we didn't even get that. The reviews, people didn't understand like the whole concept of it. It might have been too far ahead of its time. I don't know, but they just didn't get it. And we got mediocre reviews. So, but anybody else have any questions? Because I'm going to jump into another song.
So I'm assuming everybody here went to Theory Theatre for Obsolete, yeah? A metalhead for you guys since I started in '95.
Yeah.
Alright, and I saw you at Big Day. I think a Big Day out '95.
Yeah.
Being the Obsolete tour, when you did that at Thebby, that was probably the only time I actually feared my own race. that crowd was fucking punching it, and like seriously, you woke up some fucking next level shit. And you're giving you mediocre reviews. They need to get reviews on them.
Yeah.
Because they should have been singing high praises for that album.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't a question; it was a statement.
Thank you. Okay. So when Obsolete came out, we had to do a bunch of promotion for it before the record came out. So everybody kind of split up in different territories of the world. Mine was Australia and Japan. So I wanted to come back to Australia. Love it here. So we're taking off. I'm leaving from San Francisco. We're taking off, and we're getting up there, probably a good 10,000 feet, and the engine blows on the fucking plane. I see this fucking sparks go, and I'm like, holy shit! The plane goes like that. We're fucking sideways. Luckily, we had a good pilot. He fucking leveled it out, and he fucking landed the plane. And that was my trip coming back to Australia. Which is good, because it made for a good story, and I was able to tell it to all the media and stuff like that. But
was Obsolete the first record that you recorded with 7-string guitars?
Yes.
There was.
The first record I recorded with 7-string guitars, because before that I was using 6 strings tuned down to B. Right? That's what I used on Demanufacture and Soul Hanger Machine.
Yeah.
So obviously the 7-string guitars, because of the lower string, it had a little bit of a darker tone. Yeah. Still crunchy as fuck.
Yeah.
It was a little darker. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, go on.
All right.
You've been around the world.
Come on.
This is I'm not a guitarist, but I love tacos. Outside of the US and Mexico, who's got the best tacos?
You asking me about tacos?
We're Australian.
You're speaking my language, brother.
They're next door.
Yeah, who's got the best tacos from what you can remember?
Well, it's hard to say who has the best tacos, because there are good tacos all through California. And everybody has their own style. San Francisco has their own style. LA has their own style. Even different parts of LA have their own style. Even Mexico has their own style. But to me, I grew up in a town called Mexicali, which is it's a Mexican border town, and to me they have the best tacos because it reminds me of home. That's what. So let's get into the next song. Let me pick something for you guys.
HK.
All right, we're gonna go into this next record. You guys are gonna know this song the minute I start playing it. It is Fear Factory's biggest song. So I'm gonna play it now. Now, after Obsolete, after the success of Obsolete, because Obsolete, we went gold all across different countries. We had a hit record, gold, the band was at the new level. When we went in to write Digimortal, the record company wanted us to slow things down, write some more commercial songs, and blah, blah, blah. So we would have, the record company would send these producers into the rehearsal studio with us for pre-production, and these guys were like, oh yeah, you know, just play like this. Play some, you know, I'm like, I love AC/DC, but I'm not gonna do an AC/DC song. So these guys would come in and try to change our sound. We say, I would be like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't need you, bro. I don't need you. So we went to 3 producers like that, till finally we decided, fuck it, let's just get Reese back into the studio. Let's fucking get Greg Greeley. Let's get all these guys back in there and just start, you know, doing it ourselves. But the record company was really pushing for us to write songs like Lynchpin, Dark Bodies, Digimortal, the title track. They were really pushing us to write those commercial hits because they wanted the band to go platinum. They wanted us to be even the next level. But I was like, there was inner turmoil because I was torn between that because I really wanted to do heavier shit. I really wanted to go back to the demanufacture style. But also, we could still have songs like, you know, Lynchpin and stuff like that. But obviously I was outvoted. So, you know, songs like Back the Fuck Up made it on the record, which I'm not a big fan of. You guys might be fans of it, but I wasn't a big fan of that stuff. Because at that point, 2000, 2001, I already felt that nu metal had reached its peak. That rap rock has reached its peak. And I was like, I didn't despise the song. I just didn't think the song needed to be on the record. The record company was like, let's put it on the record. Some of the guys in the bands really wanted it on the record, so we put it in there, and a lot of people didn't like it, and we actually got some criticism because of it. But luckily, Lynchpin, the power of Lynchpin, the video, MTV, and stuff, and got behind it, and then boom, Lynchpin really saved that record. So I was very happy about that.
Was there a rumor that Bob Rock was?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was a rumor that Bob Rock, the guy who produced Metallica's The Black Album and Saint Anger. What else did he do?
Motley Crue.
I meant like Metallica. Just those 2 Metallica.
Oh yeah, Load and Reload.
Yeah, Load and Reload. So we actually were talking to him about doing Digimortal. I actually spoke to him on the phone a couple of times. He got our demos. He liked the demos, but he ended up choosing another band because he was getting paid way more money. So we ended up not using them, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, definitely a good thing.
What's that?
Going by St. Anger.
Yeah. Any other questions while I set up another song?
So going back to amps, do you still record with heads at all?
Yes, when I did the Reindustrialized, which is the Industrialist with live drums, me and our producer, Damien Reynaud, we decided to reamp it with the actual head and a speaker cab, and so that's what we did. It sounds better. It sounds killer.
Do you still do that at all, or like do you sort of play at home with
We might do it for the new record. I'm not sure yet. Yeah.
So there's
We'll
still
see.
a place for heads.
Of course. I mean, without heads, there would be no profiles. You know what I mean? There would be like no digital amps that these people are creating these tones from.
Yeah.
They got to create them from somewhere.
Yeah.
So they do it from organic heads. Yeah, of course. They modify them, and of course, you know, a lot of gear has changed over the years. You know, with the profiling, the digital profiles, and all that stuff, and gear is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which is great because it's better for touring. It's better for when you gotta do, you know, 100 flights a year. You know what I mean? It's good when you have smaller stuff. I prefer it. I'm gonna set up the next song. Anybody else want to ask something? Yeah.
So when you were developing the theopatic sound, who were your biggest influences?
Oh man, I had a lot. Everything was a big influence. But one riff in particular was a really huge influence, and that was Metallica released a record in 1988, and Justice for All. They had a song called One, And in the middle of that song, they do landmine has taken my arms, taken my legs. That one particular riff where they syncopate the drums and the guitars together, I was like, what's that? Oh fuck, that's the best part of the song. And then I was like, why don't they do more of that? You know what I mean? So I was always craving. I was even like waiting for when they released the Black album, I was like, are they gonna do it? And they didn't really do anything like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it myself. So that was the whole idea of why I wanted to do the kick drums and the guitar syncopated like that. So that's one of the main things that influenced me was that particular song.
It's funny because first time I heard Fear Factory, that was one track on the roof from one. So
Yeah.
I heard you say that before. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I said it on the one of the Metallica podcasts. I talked about it. Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. Podcast for All or something like that. Yeah, but that was a while ago.
Which one of your songs would you consider the hardest to play?
Ooh, well, there's one song on the first album called Soul of a New Machine. Okay, we wrote the album and we had a bunch of parts and riffs left over, so we decided to make one song with like 10 riffs. It's a song at the end of the record called Manipulation.
Yeah.
And there's like 20 different changes in the song. It's like, fuck. It's like, we played it one time, and then we said we're never playing it again. But it's kind of funny, because me and Milo were talking about it, like, oh, we should try that song. Yeah, but we have to like create a good click track and just make it, to where we can remember every part. So, because it's all over the place.
We won't hear it tomorrow then.
What's that?
We're not going to hear that song tomorrow.
Only if you sing it.
Would you rate the bridge part in Power Shifter as pretty difficult to play?
Power Shifter, doodle-doom, doodle-doom. Not really. The main riff is hard. The main riff.
Well, on bass it's fucking hard.
Yeah, it could be hard. That's a Steven question. We have a bassist filling in for Tony Campos, because Tony Campos has been playing bass for us since 2015. And so Tony has another band called Static X, which I think you guys know Static X, right? So when he does that, we have to find people to fill in. And we got Steven Brewer from a band called Lions at the Gate. And he's actually a guitarist who went bassist, because there's a lot of hard bassists to find.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good.
Pick in a bass.
What's that?
It's hard to triple pick with a top string bass.
He's a guitarist, so when he came over, he plays the bass like a guitar, right? Which is kind of what we want, because in Fear Factory, we need a bassist that plays like a guitar, because it's going to be like the second guitarist.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's tight as well. So he knows the picking really well, so he's got it down pretty well. So it's good.
I spent years chasing Justice tone, like years trying to replicate that tone. Did you do the same thing to get your tone, like something similar where you tried to get that heavy guitar sound?
Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen?
Yeah, when I got that Marshall head back in the 80s, I took it to a guy in LA who, because back in the 80s, a lot of guys were getting their head modified because of Eddie Van Halen. So a lot of dudes were trying to get that tone. And there was many guys doing those modifications in Los Angeles. So back in in the 80s, like I think it was 87 or 88, I took it to the guy and I said, I want it to sound like the first Van Halen record. And he made my amp sound like that, but I didn't play that way, so it didn't exactly sound that way. But it had that attack and it had that cleanness to it.
Like, what sort of mods are you talking about in the amp? Like, what are they doing?
They had an extra preamp. The preamp gives it distortion. But the way he did it was a cleaner distortion. It wasn't muddy. It didn't sound like, like a fuzz pedal turned all the way up. It didn't sound like that. It had a really good clean attack. The best way to describe it was like if you listen to early Anthrax, like Spreading the Disease, like that kind of tone, right? A lot of guys were putting pedals in front of their amps, and just cranking the distortion or what do they call overdrive pedals?
So did you always stick with Marshall then?
I was a Marshall guy, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a Marshall guy. Angus Young was a Marshall guy. I was a Marshall guy. I just stayed there.
You want to go to PV?
I've tried PV stuff. I recorded some PV on Divine Heresy. Speaking of Divine Heresy, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But yeah, I used a PV on the first Divine Heresy record, but it's mixed. It's mixed with a line 6, bless you, a line 6 Veta 2 head and a PV. Yeah. Cool tone.
Didn't expect that.
Yeah. So I've recorded with other amps before, you know what I mean? So, other projects that I worked on. Speaking of Divine Heresy, do you guys know Divine Heresy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Alright. So this was the first song that I wrote with a drummer named Nicholas Barker, who was in a band called Dino Cazares and Cradle Filth. And I was playing with him in another band called Brujeria, and he was our live drummer and stuff. And so I decided that I need to. This was around the time I was out of Fear Factory. In late 2002, early 2003, I was out of Fear Factory. They came out with a record called Archetype, right? It was Christian, Raymond, and Bert, and Byron Stroud on bass. And the record was really good, believe it or not. The record was really good. I'm sure you guys know it very well. So I was like, that record came out in 2004. So I was like, I need to fucking come out with the answer to that record. Meaning, it's like I said earlier, it's like a healthy competitiveness that pushes you to want to fucking blow that record away, right? So, but I was sidetracked by so many other band projects that I was working on. Brujeria, Asesino, I did the Roadrunner All-Stars. So I was releasing all these records in Spanish or doing other projects. And I was like, I need to get back to doing the Dino band where I fucking showcase my real riff style, right? Divine Heresy, Bleed the fucking Fifth. That fucking record ripped. And it was like, that was my answer to Archetype. Like, they put out Archetype, I'm gonna put out fucking Bleed the Fifth, right? Obviously, the Fear Factor was a bigger record, but to me, in my eyes, I wrote the better riffs. Different style, but still killer riffs. And the reason why I say that, because if you listen to Archetype, the first song, Slave Labor, when I put it on, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Is that me? I thought it was me. I was like, shit, they copied it so well, right? They did a good job. I'm not saying that they didn't do a good job. They did a great job. But I thought it was me. Like, Slave Labor was like Shock. I was like, oh my God, I thought they were playing Shock again. They did a cover of Shock. But obviously the song went further into the song, and it wasn't like that. But it had a lot of similarities of stuff I had already done. So to me, they didn't do anything new in my eyes, right? So I was like, I feel like I blew it away in Divine Heresy because I did something new. I took my style to a different level, to a different place. I was doing guitar solos. I was doing other stuff that I didn't do in Fear Factory, right? I had drummers that fucking put rolls through the whole record, blast beats. You know what I mean? So I took it somewhere different, and I think that would have been harder to do for them than it would be for me. So, to me, I kicked ass.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. I mean, you guys don't have to agree with me on that, but that's just how I felt. You know what I mean? that was like my comeback record. We sang it in English, and we just kicked ass. We went on tour with everybody. Divine Heresy. I called up all my buddies in bands. Take us out. I got a new band. Check out the record. And so we went out on tour with Chimera, Static X twice, Shadows Fall, and numerous of our Arch Enemy took us out. It was great.
You did
And we had-
Soundwave as well?
And I was going to get to that. Then we came over here in 2007 for the Soundwave Festival, and we sold a lot of records here in Australia, man. So I'm hoping that I get to finish the third record eventually and come back.
There you
know, for the new singer.
Bless you.
Bless you. So we talked about that. Let's go back even further. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to 1995. I think you guys know where I'm going with this, right? We're going to go. It's a demanufacture. All right. So we put out Sullivan and Machine. The Sullivan and Machine was basically exactly what the title was meant to be. The beginning, the birth of this sound, the birth of this machine, of where we wanted to take our music, right? But back then we were kids. We couldn't afford a lot of things. It was like 7 of us living in a 1-bedroom apartment. You know what I mean? So we didn't, we're scrounging for food. So we didn't really have a lot of money to go buy computers or samplers or any of that kind of stuff. So we put out Sullivan and Machine. It's raw, it's brutal, it's great. You saw the potential of where this band could go. And we toured all over the world with Sullivan and Machine. It wasn't until I spoke to the record company. I said, hey, I want to do like an EP of remixes. And they go, oh, we know the guy you need to talk to. I'm like, who? Reese Fulber. This is back in 1993. So I talked to Reese Fulber, and he's like, yeah, and he tells me he likes bands like Venom and Slayer and all kinds of stuff, and it would be good for him to do this kind of, industrial metal crossover, right? Previous from that, you've only heard of Nine Inch Nails and Ministry and maybe Godflesh and a handful of other bands. So there was nobody really doing it in the way that we did it. And a lot of it had to do with a lot of vocals and being open-minded and not being afraid to introduce electronic dance music, industrial music into our music. So when Reese sat down, we had this idea. Reese did, 3 of the songs right away. I'm like, that's cool. But we need to do a song I need to do Scapegoat, but don't techno it out. Just leave it still kind of its original form, but just add these other elements to it. And when he did it, I'm like, that's it. That's our sound right there. Scapegoat, the Pig Fuck remix, that was it. So when we went in to do Demanufacture, I was telling Reese, the sound's got to be like that. So we went in to do Demanufacture. We actually wrote the whole record, and then Sepultura called us. Say, hey man, you guys want to open up for us? And I'm like, fuck yeah. So in 1994, we went on tour with Sepultura. It was good. We made some money to make the record. And we went in to make the record. We started in a place called Chicago Tracks, which is a very famous record studio where bands like Ministry and Skinny Puppy and all those early industrial bands recorded there. We're like, fuck yeah, we're going to go to that place. That place is going to be amazing. It's like industrial heaven, right? We get there and it was a piece of shit. But we started recording drums and the computer wiped out all of Raymond's drum tracks. He erased them all. Like, oh my God, we gotta get the fuck out of here. So we went up to a place called Bearsville, New York, which is upstate New York. And guess who recorded in that studio? And guess what record was made there?
Fight the Walking for a Day.
Yes, but somebody else before that. And Justice for All Metallica. We actually stayed in the house that Metallica stayed at, and in the back of it was like a tool shed in the back of the house, and somebody spray painted Metallica on the fucking tool shed. We're like, fuck. It's just weird how it was all, me being influenced by that one riff, and here we are making fucking Demanufacture, staying in the same house in the same studio that they made a Justice for All. And I was like, fuck. I was in heaven, right? So we ended up doing the record. Reese fucking added all his stuff on the record, but it was great because Faith No More were in the next studio over. And so we hang out with those guys every day, and it was great. But also in the main room, in the big room, Bon Jovi was in there recording, right? And so we were in the middle between, it was Bon Jovi, us, and then Faith No More, right? And so we were like, we had done tracking, we were kind of doing some pre-mixing, and we were cranking fucking we were cranking Zero Signal really fucking loud. And the producer from Bon Jovi comes over and knocks on our door. We're like, oh, what's up? He's like, who's you? You know what I mean? You know who he was. Anyway, so he was like, can you please turn down the music? Because it's bleeding into the drum mics. Because they were doing drum tracks. And through the drum mics, you can hear it bleeding. So when they were like getting drum sounds, they can hear fucking Zero Signal going through the fucking Bon Jovi records. I'm not lying. Go to the Bon Jovi. I don't know what record it was, but it was obviously 1994. So whatever record came out at that time, it's in the fucking bio of that record. So you got to go read that. It's fucking amazing. Yeah. So and another funny story is, back then payphones, right? Reese was on the payphone, and he sees this guy walking by, and he thought he worked at the studio. He goes, hey, can you go down to the deli and get me a fucking turkey sandwich and put some mayo, tell him no mustard, and he's telling him what he wanted on the sandwich. And the guy's like, oh no, I don't work here. And he's like, oh okay, whatever. And it was fucking John Bon Jovi. Reese had no idea it was John Bon Jovi. You know what I mean? So that was hilarious. And then one time I was sitting in the lounge, and me and Raymond were sitting in the lounge, and Heather Locklear walks in. Right? Beautiful, stunning, blonde hair, fucking beautiful shit. She comes in, she had a bottle of wine. She goes, you guys want some wine? And I'm like, it's fucking Heather Locklear asking if I want wine. I said, fuck yeah, I'll take. I don't even drink wine. I hate wine, to be honest with you. I'll take some, sure. She gave me a glass. I said, Raymond's like, I don't drink wine. And she's like, what? You don't drink wine? What kind of man are you? I'm like, whoa. Like, fucking Heather Locklear's dissing Raymond for not drinking wine. Anyway, so we were flicking through the channel, and there was a show that she was on called TJ Hooker. It's the name of the show. It was like a cop show. She was on it. We were flicking it. She's like, oh no, change the channel. I don't want to watch that shit. I don't want to watch that. I'm like, all right. I guess she didn't like her own show, whatever. But anyways, then in comes Richie Sambora. He's like, okay, cool, we got to go. She's like, this is the guys at Fear Factory. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, so it was great making that record. But anyway, so we ended up going into mixing the record. There was a guy named Colin Richardson that produced it. He produced and mixed our first record. But during the production and the mixing, he really didn't understand all the keyboard elements that we wanted to do. Because at that point, he had only done the Carcass and Napalm Death. Yeah, Bolt Thrower. A lot of stuff that was not really in the genre we wanted to be in. So he didn't really get all the keyboards and all that stuff. And I was like, we need to fire this guy. And so we eventually fired him. And we had Reese and a guy named Greg Greeley. We got all the tapes. We left New York. We went all the way to LA, which is funny. I live across the street from the place. We live across the street from the place we mixed Demanufacture. But I moved in there later on. It was so weird. But anyways, so we mixed Demanufacture there, and we were mixing. I think Zero Signal was the first song that we mixed. And when we mixed that, I was like blown away, because there they do post-production sounds for movies, and they had a gigantic 90-inch fucking, not 90-inch, 900-inch fucking massive screen in front of it. We put on Blade Runner, and we started Zero Signal, and we turned off all the lights, and we just watched that whole intro scene with Zero Signal, and it was like, fuck. It was like, I almost started crying, like, oh my god, Sophie, fucking killer. And it's such a great song, So we ended up mixing the record there, and I just knew. And it's funny because Replica was the last song it was the first song we wrote, but the last song that Burton sang because she just didn't know what to put on it. You know, it was such a simple song. He's like, oh, what do I, I don't want to repeat myself. And I was like, just do it, man. See what comes out. And he fucking did it and nailed it. He goes, you don't think I say the chorus too much? I'm like, no. You don't think I repeat, I don't want to live that way too much? I'm like, no. Perfect. Leave it like that. And it just came out a hit. He was like, sometimes you write songs and you're not sure where it's going to go. You're not sure if people are going to like it. You're not sure if it's too repetitive. You'd be like, it's too boring, right? But it fucking worked. And it hit. And it became a hit. It's like one of our classic songs. It's the big ones. Any questions?
Yeah, John. Okay, I'm sorry. Warming up. What do you sort of go through when you're warming up for a show? Like, for me, like, I can't get triplets and stuff going. Like, it sounds like the drum man before he goes upstairs and
Yeah.
5 for 20 minutes. So.
I usually go like this. When I warm up, I usually just sit there and I just like, what? Will you turn it on? I usually just go like this for 30 minutes. That's about it. And I just fill around it. Just to warm up my hand. That's about it. Yeah. But any other questions before we get into the classic demanufactured?
Maybe the people enjoy the for your royalties.
That'd be a good one. Okay, another story too. We got to go into their studio, right? And they were gone. Because one of the engineers was like, yeah, you want to come check out some crazy shit? I'm like, yeah. What? Bon Jovi's writing some fucking heavy shit? No. He's like, no. Gotta come check out their gear. And so we went in there and we saw like fucking this rack of just snares and toms and just 100 of just all this gear. And Richard Sambora had like fucking 50 guitars laid out. But the one thing that fucking triggered me in a good way was we went into the control room and they had nothing for his ears, but they had a poster on the wall of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, right? And they circled each girl they were with. I'm like, they slept with all of them? They circled, and I was like, oh my god! I was like just blown away.
Way less bad since.
I don't know which guy slept with who, but they circled them all, and I go, why are those girls circled? Well, those are the ones they slept with. I go, bullshit. He goes, no. That's why they were circled.
Stay there.
What's that?
How long did you stay there?
In the rehearsal, in the recording studio?
Circle Gilby.
I couldn't tell what he said.
How long did you stay looking at the poster?
Oh, a good 5 minutes. I was just like, he was trying to explain to me some stuff on the console. I'm like, I kept going back to the notes. I kept going back to the poster, man.
Inspiration.
I'm like, these guys. All right. So let's get into demanufacturing. Okay. So when we were writing demanufacture, what inspired it was just obviously technology, movies like Terminator and Blade Runner and so on and so on, but it was also our surroundings. LA was a big fucking melting pot of just all kinds of shit going on, right? So we had the Rodney King riots, right, where people just fucking burned down the city, right? We had fires. We had these insane fires. Then we had flooding. And the reason why we got flooding is because the fires burned all the trees and anything that would soak up the water, right? So you had these really heavy rains and just created mudslides, and you see people's houses going down the fucking river. Just, it was crazy. Then we had a big earthquake, 1994, and you just saw all these buildings crumbled. And this was within a matter of 2 years, from 1992 to 1994. All this happened. So to me, I was like, what am I going to call this record, right? And we looked at everything that was going on, and of course, being inspired by all these futuristic concepts and looking at all those magazines and reading where technology is going, and of course, you know, in Terminator, the war against the machines, and blah blah blah, we saw it going kind of in a negative way. So I was like, everything's falling apart. We had a list of names of what we were going to name the band, and one of the names was called Manufacture. So right, so I was like, well, what's the opposite of make? Well, destroy, right? So how do I love the word manufacture. Well, how do I demanufacture? Well, it's not really a word. You know, I remember somebody said that's not. Yeah, but it sounds right. It just sounds right. And if you even try to type demanufacture on your phone, it'll autocorrect it to remanufacture. So there's no de in that word. But we made it, and we just made it. We gave it its own meaning, to dismantle, to take apart, to destroy, and that's just where we saw America, technology, the future, and that's where we saw it all going, and that's pretty much what the concept was about. Also, when we were writing the song Demanufacture, you know, me and Raymond started the song together, but it was like, after I heard it, I was like, it needed something else. I'm like, let's put the kick drum start. What? Put the kick drum starting. Okay. And so we tried it. I'm like, fuck, it sounds fucking amazing. Who starts a record with just a kick drum? It's like, I hadn't heard anything like that before. And I was like, this is it. And it just set the whole pace of the album. The first line that Bert says, desensitized by the value of life, that pretty much described the whole record and what we were seeing across Los Angeles. And so we're gonna play that now. Anybody else have any questions about that?
Was that using Oasis triggers?
Can't hear you.
Were you using Oasis triggers on the kick?
We did it on Soul Within Machine. Later on, we recorded organically. But when Reese came into the picture, he changed all that shit, and he used his own samples that he made. Yeah. Australia was the first country to give us a gold record on demanufacture. So thank you for that. We got really lucky because an unfortunate situation happened. A friend of ours' band broke up, and they were meant to play the big day out, but luckily the promoters at the big day out they asked the fans what band would be good to replace Sepultura at the big day out, and we got voted number 1, Fear Factory. So we came in, and because of that tour, it propelled the band to the next level. In Australia, we got our first gold record hit. For this next song that we're going to get into, it was originally, it came out on the movie soundtrack, Mortal Kombat. But originally it was supposed to be South by Resistor. We wrote South by Resistor for that movie because they approached us on writing the song for it. So we did. We gave them South by Resistor. Like, it's cool, whatever. So anyways, we finished the record. And somehow somebody heard Zero Signal. Like, we got to put this song on the record. And so they chose that song. So that's how it appeared on the record. On the soundtrack in the movie. I just remember when they were playing, we went to go see the movie in the movie theaters, and it was cranked really loud. That Johnny Cage versus Scorpion scene came on, and we're like, fuck yeah! We were like fucking so happy. We went and had a few beers afterwards, and we're like, oh, can you believe that vibe? So amazing. So we were telling all of our friends. So a lot of people went and fucking saw the movie, and we got a lot of people discovered us from that soundtrack. So I think you guys knew who we were before the soundtrack. I think.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we're gonna get into that song now. This is Zero Signal. This samples from Terminator 2 and the dream sequence. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that was Zero Signal, and I think you guys, like I said, you guys might have heard of us before that. Because I think, what year did Zero Signal? What year did Mortal Kombat come out?
95.
95. Oh, the same year. Wow. Okay. Did you guys ever hear? Did you guys ever see that movie?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
It was the best one.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It is. You're right. You're right. It's the better one. So, you know, going from a record like Demanufacture into Obsolete into Digimortal, we wanted to make sure that each record had its own style, own sound. I mean, obviously, you could still tell it's Fear Factory, but we try to give each record a different element. I think the biggest jump was from Soul of the Machine to Demanufacture. That was a huge jump. But you still knew it was Fear Factory, you know what I mean? And so that's something that I've always tried to accomplish with Almighty Music. Try to make it stand out different as much as you can, you know. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, buddy. It just seems to me as a fan, you had a fire leg in your belly when you teamed up with Gene Hoagland to do those 2 albums.
We only did one album with Gene Hoagland.
Wasn't it Dennis, Mechanized and...
Just Mechanized.
Oh, okay.
Mechanized was the only record that we did with Gene Hoagland. Yeah, I mean, obviously Gene Hoagland's a legendary guy. He came from a big band, you know, like Death, Dark Angel, and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been pretty lucky to be jamming with some of the best drummers in the world. Obviously Raymond Herrera, you know, we pretty much invented the style together, and of course Gene Hoagland, and I jammed with Tim Young in Divine Heresy, Nick Barker, Australia's own guy named John Sankey, from a band called Devolved, right? He helped.
You here in Adelaide?
No, he's in Brisbane. Brizzo, mate, fucking Brizzo. Yeah, and then doing the Roadrunner All-Stars with Joey Jordison. That guy is fucking amazing. Rest in peace. He was a fucking badass. Yeah. And so I got really lucky. I got to jam with guys like that. Nicholas Barker on Divine Heresy as well. So I got really lucky jamming with drummers.
You can hear your inspiration.
And of course, you know, now Pete Weber.
I just want to ask about like what you did out of playing the sort of fan frets. What brought you to the fan fret guitar? Like, what do you sort of specifically get from it?
Tension, length. Because when you start doing the lower tunings, right? So usually when it's a regular scale guitar, you got to use thicker strings, right? I hate fucking thicker strings because it's just too tight or too loose. It just doesn't have the right feel to it.
So it is that simple, like the highest scale, you've got all of that, and then you've just got the lower scale without it being so tight and so bass.
Well, yeah, correct. I don't want to have to use bigger strings is what I'm trying to get at. I wanted to use, you know, because this is only a 59. Most guys use like 64s and higher for a tuning guitar. Like, it changes your tone as well. So I like using, you know, a slightly lighter, I guess you would say. So this is a 59, and plus it's better on your wrist. I noticed that, you know, a lot of guitar players, when you're playing stuff with, or the string tension's too tight, or the strings are too big, you're gonna get carpal tunnel quicker. So if it's slightly looser and softer and easier to play, you're not gonna get it as bad. That's just my theory. So
it's still a heavy string, dude.
59 is not that heavy.
59.
But it's a 7-string guitar. It's not that heavy. You want to touch it?
Yes, I do.
That's what she said. You set yourself up with that one. And you want to cook her? Cook touch it. You're telling me if it's too much for you.
I use 60, so it's just a good size.
Oh, yeah.
How's the good?
Feels good.
You know.
Nail yellow and the shaft.
Feels good. All right, we are coming to a conclusion here. So if there's any questions you guys want to ask, now is your time.
It is going back to the demanufacture topic, but when you last came here and you played demanufactured front to back, the other states you were utilising the stage like you normally do, but you come to Adelaide and you're on a chair with a fucking moon boot. What happened? I never knew.
It was a weird fluke incident. I was in Melbourne, and I just happened to step on a crack.
Hey, you didn't break your back, you broke your leg.
Broke my foot.
Your foot.
Broke a bone in my foot. So I was told to stay off it for 3 months.
It's just so weird. You can't. It's just like there's Dino in a chair.
I was in a chair with a fucking boot on. It sucked, trust me. I tried standing for hours like that. It was like hard to balance yourself with that thing on.
Unreal. Man.
It's different if you're walking, but when you're standing still like that,
Yeah, it's just unnatural after all those
well, I
years
just
of seeing you
stand
do it.
sure. I know it sucked, but I'm fine now.
Hey, you still killed it.
Thank you, man.
Wild night.
Anybody else have questions that's not him? Or him. Go ahead.
The riff at the end of the second chorus of Self by Ice Sister, the really groovy one. How did you go about writing that? How did that riff come about?
I think that was a more a self-conscious riff that came from probably Metallica 1, yeah. Yeah.
It's such a groovy riff. I thought for myself, that's a really good riff. The one at the end of the second chorus.
Yeah.
So I was like, how did that come about? Like, did you have a...
Are you talking about the syncopated part or the open groove part?
The groove part.
Oh, okay, that. It's just kind of writing it, because in the riff, because I'm going like this, going so it's just a groovier part of that same little tag that I'm adding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I decided to continue it and just break it down. Yeah. Good question.
So you mentioned before the Roadrunner United album. How did that actually all come about? Because to us that was just like a different thing to have, like, Joey Jordison, Matt Effie, yourself, like all of you just all in one big album with a whole bunch of different songs. How did that actually all come about?
That all came about from a guy named Monty Connor who used to work at Roadrunner Records, and it was his idea to put this together. So the thing was, he wanted to pick 4 team captains, which is me, Froth Fury, Joey Jordison, and Matt Heafy. At that time, he was a newcomer, and you could only pick musicians that were a part of Roadrunner Records. And so there was a list of dudes, and I just picked guys that I love. Rest in peace, Paul Gray was one of the guys. But so that's how that came about. You don't have any questions? You don't have any questions?
I have one.
Okay.
Of all the shows that you played in your
Yes, I'm beautiful. I know that.
of all the shows that you played in your career, well over, which one is a standout for you?
Well, obviously, it's not necessarily one particular show. It's probably countries. I love coming to Australia. It's probably my #1 spot. England's #2. Germany's fucking amazing. I love going out there. I mean, I don't want to alienate any country, but pretty much the majority of shows in my whole entire life, I love. What makes me happy is just being on stage and make people happy. When people sing your songs, whether it's 5, 50, or 5,000, 50,000, as long as we're all into it, man, that's my favorite spot to be in at that moment. Yeah. But touring with Metallica, that was a whole other fucking level. That's a whole other level. They got their own community. They got their own little city or town of people that come that are working for them. They got a few hundred people working for them. It's like 1,000 minions working for them. like Ramstein.
Is there any chance we'll be hearing Hans Gilos?
Yeah.
I'd be pissed looking down that road.
Yeah.
The only way to find out is go tomorrow. I don't want to give away all the surprises, right? But Jason, I don't know where he's at. He was here. Froth Fury Jason.
You said you have to fail.
He put up a contest of what people wanted to hear, and you had two choices: a mixture of songs or the first 4 albums. And you know, a lot of people chose, hundreds of people chose the first 4 albums. So we're gonna try to squeeze it all in 70 minutes. What's the best we can do? What's that?
I believe there was more than 3. Yeah.
What's that? 4 albums. Let's say 4 or 3.
Yeah.
I meant 4. I meant 4.
Sorry, we're waiting the one that's demanufactured onto just to increase chances of you're young. Step Brit just like
You know what? If we don't play it, we'll come over to your house and get some tacos, and I'll play it for you. Anybody else before we close this up?
When did you, like, what age did you start playing guitar and how did you learn?
9 years old. I saw Angus Young on TV. I can't remember what was. Bon Scott was still alive in the band, and that fucking freaked me the fuck out, and I wanted to play guitar really bad. Right? My dad had an acoustic guitar because he liked to play mariachi music. Do you know what that is? It's like Mexican country music.
Yeah, sort of.
Right? It's like polka music, but Mexican style. So he was playing that kind of Jesus, and he had an acoustic guitar around. When I saw AC/DC play, I was like, fuck, I wanted to be like Angus so bad. I fucking wanted to buy an Eshki Gibson. My mother said, no, you're too young and nuts. So I didn't even get an electric guitar till I was 14. So I was playing acoustic guitar the whole time, trying to wear AC/DC riffs and Black Sabbath riffs, and not really understanding why the acoustic guitar didn't sound like fucking Iron Man. But yeah, that's what I got. How old are you? 12? 13?
13.
Yeah, playing guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, I got giveaways. I forgot. Oh shit. Oh shit. What do I got? Woo!
I'll take one in your hand then.
That's not a shotgun. We gotta talk to Perry about that one. All right. So who has? Hold on. who has a 7-string guitar?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Who has this routing on your guitar?
I've got an RGA 7, I think.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I've got no blackouts in there at the moment.
You got blackouts in there.
It's a project guitar.
Okay, so he's the only one that has this. Here you go. Okay, I got more. Don't worry, I got more. Who wants hats? All right, now I got some. Those ones I give you are my retributions. Those are different EQ from a different preamp from the Blackouts, but it's similar. So now I also wanted to come out with a pickup with Seymour Duncan that fit a passive route, right? But I love active pickups, so this pickup looks like a passive pickup, but it's actually an active pickup. So underneath the pickup, it has a preamp, like an active pickup. So I got a few of them here, but I just have to see which size they are. Okay, this is a. Who has a knife? Oh, I got a knife. Okay, this is a 6-string.
I got EMG 81, 85s in my demolition.
Yeah, but those are. Is it a 6-string route?
6, yeah.
Is it a passive route?
Yes.
Okay. Here you go. You have this. I'm not gonna throw it to you. It might fall out and hit somebody in the head.
I've actually got the Seymour Duncan hot rounds in my George Lynch as well.
Nice.
Oh, you were George Lynch.
There you go. Okay. Okay. Now I also have. You got to thank Seymour Duncan. So if you take a picture, whatever, thank me and Seymour Duncan. Tag them. This is a. This is a 7-string. Who has a 7-string? Oh. Come get it.
You can have the shirt back.
Come get it. Come get it, mate.
I got a Shacto with EMGs and that's just rubbish. This is gonna smells and ass.
Okay, I have another. I think it's another 7-string. Let's find out right now. No, this is the 6.
Downloads, Stevets, sucks in there.
Just an upgrade.
Yeah, much needed. Then, ooh, this looks like a 7. No, it's a 6. Who was another 6? I'll give it to the kid here. The kid. There you go. And then on the table right here is also a bunch of guitar picks, so feel free to get some of the FF picks. So feel free to grab a few. But that concludes our clinic session, meet and greet, whatever.
My name's Jed.
Jed?
And Lance.
Lance. Now, boys, how did you find the guitar clinic?
Very, very cool. Very down to earth. Great experience. Yeah, really recommend it.
Good on you, man.
Oh, it was killer. Like, yeah, pretty much everything you want in a guitar clinic. And, you know, sitting here one-on-one, you know, in such an intimate space, hearing those riffs, it was awesome.
Hell yeah. What was your favourite song, boys?
I'd probably say, yeah, the opening was just, you come straight up a scrape and yeah, you have to be on it, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favourite song?
Yeah, it's got to be Shock, man. Like, you know, you can't go wrong with Shock. You know, just, you know, that heavy nitty gritty riff, you know, nothing beats it.
Yeah, the main riff and then the chorus riff.
Right. Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Awesome, boys. Now, what did you get? Did you guys get anything signed?
Yeah. So I actually got a pickup that Dino actually gives to me, so I'll be putting that in.
Hey.
So shout out to Dino and Seymour Duncan. Yeah, very cool. Thanks, guys.
Nice.
I got a original Demifacture vinyl, and yeah, he personalised it and stuff. He's a really, really chill dude. And
did he write 2 Lance on it?
Yeah, he wrote 2 Lance, his new breed on it and stuff like that. Like, he's really down to earth guy.
Awesome, man. All right, boys. Thanks for having a chat on New Breed TV.
Thank you guys, all you guys for coming out. We're going to take photos and we're going to do autographs now. So whatever you guys got, I'm not signing any penises.
No penises?
But ass and titties are very welcome.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dino Cazares.
VHS, Mike. VHS.
Look at that.
Hey.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. She's a fucking beaut, mate.
Perfect. Legend.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, that was the clinic. That was awesome.
yeah.
How cool was that to see?
Hell yeah. So I went along to this guitar clinic and did the filming and stuff. It was good to hang out with Dino. The place was packed. Everyone,
great turnout.
Everyone was loving it. The stories that Dino told about, and it was a good way of like doing the clinic too. He'd like start off, with the earlier Fear Factory albums and sort of talk his way through,
chatting through,
and then he'd play a song from like each one as he had some stories about each album. It was a great way to run it, and he did well. He handed out a lot of pickups. Seymour Duncan
Freebies.
pickups. He gave away heaps of freebies, man.
Nice.
Everyone was so appreciative. He signed like everything that everyone brought. It was a good time, and I'm so glad that we've finally got that footage out now.
Yeah, for sure. I actually really enjoyed sort of getting some of his perspectives on the progression through the albums, going from Demanufacture to Obsolete, and having that kind of pressure to sort of follow up that landmark album. And then, we got some perspective on coming back with the Divine Heresy era material and really kind of stepping up his ferocity with his riffs.
And didn't he? Like, I remember the last, before hearing Divine Heresy, the last time that we, really heard Dino on an album of his was Digimortal. And then when Divine Heresy come out, oh my God, like he'd really stepped up his game. There was anger, it was ferocious, it was faster, harder, heavier. There was solo-y bits on it. He just he'd taken his playing to another level, coming back with Divine Heresy, and it was just, and that's what, then eventually, like later on, we ended up with Mechanize.
Correct, yeah.
Which sort of like, you could see where that fast, really aggressive,
brutal,
that brutality, that really, came from, Dino really fucking leveling up in the years that he wasn't in Fear Factory.
He was a weapon before, but he was a different breed of weapon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Some of the songs he played, like Shock, Linchpin, Demanufacture, Zero Signal, and Save Yourself from the Divine Heresy.
Yeah, Bleed the Fifth album. Yeah.
That bloody chorus, man.
Yeah.
How good is it?
I think
classic Dino sound.
I think there's a fair few people out there that probably don't have lots of familiarity with Divine Heresy stuff. So if you haven't checked it out, you should.
Oh my God.
There's some real cool stuff.
There's two albums out, and check them both out. Bleed the Fifth's probably my favourite album out of the two, and oh man, if you haven't heard it yet, go and have a listen to it, because bloody him. All right, New Breeders, well, thanks for watching New Breed TV. We will catch you again next time, and for now, long live Fear Factory!
You're watching New Breed TV.
Thanks, fellas.